Here is Mikayla's backstroke above water. As we see her set up, I know since we don't have the touch pads in, it's a little bit harder to get those feet set up in the proper position. When you do have a touch pad in and you're doing a backstroke start, make sure those toes are right underneath the surface. That way you can actually get the highest position to get your body out of the water much easier. As we see you going through, you are throwing your upper body back first and then pushing off the wall. Make sure you're working on really pushing through those legs. That way you're going to be able to kind of pull your hands off and get your body up and out of the water a little bit more. I can see we've got just a little bit of space in those arms on that streamline. We can tighten that up just really thinking about trying to line up those wrists as well as your forearms. That'll give you that tighter position. Got a fairly solid kick going on. You do have a lot of knee action. We're able to see those knees come up and out of the water. And we want to make sure you're trying to kick with a little bit straighter leg. That way you're going to be able to kick a lot faster, and that's going to help with your body position. When your knees come out, you tend to almost kind of drive your hips down a little bit more. As we watch you going in for the turn, you are looking for that wall. When your head is up, that tends to drop those hips down just a little bit. As we're getting around, doing a pretty good job of getting tucked up nice and small. And that's always one of the things we like to see. That's going to help you get around a lot quicker. Make sure, I know your arms are kind of out to the side as you're going through that turn. Really make sure you're utilizing those arms to help you get around that turn. That'll get you out a lot further. Breaking outside those flags, which is great to see. We got a little bit of, as we look through here, we've got a little bit of the water kind of getting moved up. That's because you've got a real shallow pull. Make sure you're getting onto that side a little bit more. You've got to think about digging that hand down a lot deeper, so then you're going to be able to really pull solid water versus pulling the garbage water on the top. As we watch the finish here, a little hesitant on where you're at, but you do a good job of staying out of that side. If you know you're going to be a little bit long on that finish, utilize a little bit of that dolphin kick to help you finish a lot stronger. Nice job. Here is Mikayla's backstroke underwater. We do have those feet set pretty far apart. You've got evidently some pretty wide shoulders going on there. Make sure those feet are set up pretty much at your shoulder width apart. If we had a touch pad in at this point in time, I'd also tell you to make sure that those toes are right underneath the surface. Since you've got a good couple inches worth of metal right there at the top of the wall, can't really get a very good push on metal. So you're definitely doing the right thing in this scenario, having your toes right underneath the metal section. Do a fairly good job of getting your body up and over. We do need to just work on trying to get your entire body out. So you got to do a little bit more of that downward press. But hopefully with being able to start a little bit higher out of the water, having a touch pad, that would help you a lot more in your races. As we see right here, you've got a little bit of a gap in between those two arms. Make sure you're lining those hands up right on top of one another. Line those wrists up, line those forearms. That way we can work on getting a much tighter stroke. As we see you go through the water here, got quite a few bubbles right there on your hand. You see kind of the same thing on that left arm. Want to make sure as soon as that arm enters the water that you're working on digging down. So right at this point you're wanting to pull straight on back. Well, what you actually need to do is dig down just a little bit deeper, get that hand to press straight back on that water. By the time you're getting close to that finish, you should be rotating on that side as you are right there, and that's going to help with that recovery. So a little bit more downward press. You're doing a really good job of getting onto that side, but we just need to work on trying to dig that hand down a little bit deeper and make that part of your stroke. That way we can get rid of some of those bubbles. We do see you actually come up pretty close to the surface, and we'll point that out on the way back. Coming off the wall, again, streamline, streamline, streamline. See those dolphin kicks doing a pretty good job. Right here you're kicking really wide. There's a lot of space in between your two legs, and you're actually kicking the surface right at that point in time. So make sure you are working on trying to tighten up that freestyle kick. That way we're able to make it much, much quicker. We'll see you go through on this right arm. As you're kind of going through, you're not nearly as high towards the surface, but right at this point in time you are hitting right there at the surface. So that's why we really want to focus on being able to push straight back on that water, as well as getting that stroke to be a lot deeper for you. And that's going to make so that you are getting a lot further. As we see you finish the stroke here, you are finishing real deep. Here is the point in time where you're finishing your stroke. We want to make sure that you are getting that finish to be a lot closer to the surface. That way your transition into your recovery is going to be a lot better. As we see that finish, you are finishing on that side. Looks like you're a little long, so make sure you really know that count for a really good finish. Nice job.